Hello everyone, my name is David Webb, and as you know, we are going chapter by chapter through my first book, The Light Thief, so I can show you what worked, what didn't work, so that you can learn from my successes and mistakes. Let's get started. Hello everyone, welcome back. We are going to jump right into it today with an examination of chapter 3, where I introduce the love interest, Nikolas Kent. We are going to start off with probably the most important aspect of the love interest, and that's how you set up the relationship. A lot of stories will start off with the main character having absolutely no relationship with their love interest, and that's perfectly fine if the romance is actually a driving force in the story. For those of you who have read The Light Thief, you know that this is not quite the case. The love story is especially important to the series, and especially the second and the third books, but the first book is all about Ania and setting up her very strong character. In case you haven't already noticed throughout the first two chapters, Ania Lyons is deeply flawed. Because her brother was stolen away from her just 3 years ago, she's scared to develop any intimate relationship. Therefore, she insists that she can make it alone in this world because she's afraid to let anyone else inside. It's in this chapter, chapter 3, that we get another and really the first major hint of the theme of the entire series, trauma, and how it defines and influences our relationships with others. Over the course of the first book, Ania is so broken down that not only is she willing to open herself up again because she knows she needs help, but she actually swings all the way over to the other side of the pendulum. She becomes so completely dependent on those around her. The arc is an interesting one. I spent a lot of the first book making it look like Ania will be stronger because she learns to depend on those around her, but really as you go on throughout the series, you realize that Ania is slowly sinking to a new low. She doesn't even realize it, but she is slowly losing her autonomy, the independence that she actually started the story with. She goes from one character flaw to another. It's not until the second half of the third book that she actually finds a healthy balance. So, because the first book is all about the destruction of Ania's perceived independence, the love story needs to take a back seat. Therefore, I went with a love interest that already knows and is familiar with Ania, someone who is already openly in love with her, so that I don't waste valuable pages with the story of them falling in love. Rather, the story is about Ania's walls breaking down and letting people back in, so much so that it hurts her. Enter Nikolas Kent, the perfect foil to Ania Lyons. Nikolas and his relationship with Ania are so important to the entire series. So much so that he's a point of view character, and I wanted to dedicate a chapter introducing him from his point of view. It's made clear in this chapter that he has feelings for her, and he knows he can never have her, and it's also hinted at that Ania may have feelings for him as well, but won't admit it. As her childhood best friend, he understands her all too well. He knows that her brother's abduction has traumatized her, and as much as he loves her, he knows that a relationship with her is never going to happen. He even jokes in the middle of the chapter that she's unmarriable, something that he knows is true, but will only say in jest. It's because of this knowledge that she's never going to end up with him that he makes the choices that he does throughout the book. So how do you write your love interest? Well, you need to decide what's more important to the story, the main character or the main character's relationship with their love interest. Let's take The Hunger Games, for example. You could argue that Katniss's relationship with Peeta completely drives the first book. It's why Katniss makes most of her choices. In cases such as these, where the relationship has so much effect on the main story, then it's important to show the basis of this relationship. In my first book, the story is all about Ania, which really reflects the theme of the book, which is overcoming her selfishness. It's only after she does so that her relationship with Nikolas really drives the story forward. And as you'll see in the second book, her struggle to forgive Nikolas for what could be considered an unforgivable sin, that's what moves the story forward. That's what further develops their relationship. And in the third book, that's when you'll see that things really kick into high gear. And that's when Ania's character arc comes full circle and she finally reconciles the flaws within her, finds a healthy balance, and is able to be at peace with herself and her relationships with others. So decide what kind of character arc you want, whether you want the story to be driven by one character or that character's relationship with someone else, and that will determine how you write your love interest. We'll dive a little bit more into this in future chapters, so be sure to stick around and see how it all turns out. That's gonna do it for chapter 3 today. Thank you for watching. My name is David Webb. Can't wait to see you again and get some writing done.